Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. We've got the most anticipated rematch of the season. The Bombers held on at home in Week 6 to win the first meeting of the year and roll into town tonight a perfect 7-0. Following that loss, Calgary went on to a bye, and now they get another shot at the back-to-back chance.
Yeah, with all due respect to the rest of the teams in the league, this is the main event of Week 8 in the Canadian Football League for so many reasons, starting at the quarterback position, because both these guys are flat-out winners. Bo Levi Mitchell has a great record here at McMahon Stadium, an even better record off a bye. He has the best winning percentage of any quarterback in league history. Zach Collaros is your reigning MOP, 19-2 as a Winnipeg starter, led the Bombers to back-to-back championships. If it's all just about winning, put these two guys on the poster.
They have certainly found a way. There is no doubt about that, and we are set for a big one on a Saturday in Calgary. A low kick to get us started. That'll take a high bounce at the 25, and now on the far side of the field, a little bit of room on this return, and Longley takes it up. A nice return to start this football game in decent field position for Bo Levi Mitchell.
88-23-2, best winning percentage in Canadian Football League history for any quarterback. 1,200, just shy of 1,300 yards passing on the season, 4-1, and we've talked about his great record coming off the bye. When they get a chance to prepare, he and Dave Dickinson get in that quarterback room and go to work.
The two losses they've got were both on the road. He has not lost at home after a bye week. So that is on the line here against the 7-0 Bombers, who look to keep the perfect season going. They will push ahead on first down, and going to see a lot of this today. Kadeem Carey coming off of back-to-back 100-yard games. Here's a look at the starting offense for Calgary, brought to you by Expedia.
Well, whether it's Derek Dennis or Julian Goodjones, you're going to have to control Winnipeg's Willie Jefferson to beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's the task that those guys have tonight. And Kadeem Carey back-to-back 100-yard rushing games for Carey.
Second and very manageable here, and they'll toss it on a sweep near side, and that'll go down inside the 50 as they get a dangerous weapon in Malik Henry involved early.
Yeah, I really like this kind of play early on, especially with the end play and Willie Jefferson, as I mentioned. If you can start to run these plays wide, it widens the path of each defensive end. Now, no Jackson Jeffcoat in this game. Cedric Wilcox will play opposite Willie Jefferson, but a good player in his own right.
On that time, they were running the ball away from Willie on the other side of the field. So something to keep tabs on here. 3 to the left, 3 to the right. Mitchell, he's got a completion, and that'll go down inside the 40 to Kamar Jordan, who's looking for a bounce back from Week 6.
Yeah, I thought Milt Stegall, the former Hall of Fame receiver, who basically saying he's had 2 weeks to think about one that got away. I mean, he was just fighting the football when these two teams met a couple weeks ago, and that first catch is a big one.
We saw Calgary march the ball well against the Bombers in Winnipeg, and they'll bring in Stevens on short yardage, looking for that first down. They stalled a couple of times down inside the 5.
Just take a look and see. Got a good push up front, good offensive line here in Calgary. Both teams outstanding offensive lines. I don't think there's any question.
First and 10 now on the Winnipeg 36.
Back up.
And they will keep it in the quarterback's hands. He lunges ahead against this Winnipeg starting defense.
Well, Willie Jefferson, the only player in CFL history to have 50 sacks and 50 knockdowns. And when he was asked about it this week, he said, well, I'm halfway there.
100 would be good.
100 would be good, and he can get it done. Malik Clements, 4th start for him, for Kyrie Wilson. And as good as Kyrie has been, a CFL player, not a huge drop-off with Clements. Nick Hallett will start at free safety.
First career start for Hallett. Mitchell over the middle, completion down inside the 20 for another first down, and Bagleton gets involved, and Bo Levi Mitchell moving the ball around here a little bit.
They got 3 receivers. It's called trips formation to the wide side of the field, and Begelton's that 3rd receiver, just going to sit down in the curl and put Adam Big Hill in a bit of a bind because Big Hill had 2 curls to play on that play. And if Bo is on, which he was on that throw, you're wrong either way.
Begelton at 82 yards and a touchdown in that Week 6 loss to the Bombers. 3 receivers wide side right here for Mitchell. Looks that way. Now he's going to look to the end zone, and it falls incomplete. Begelton, the intended target.
Yeah, he had him, and it looked like on the throw that Levi Mitchell wanted to put a little extra air on this because it's going to be a trailing crossing route that just it takes a little bit of time. Bo has the time in the pocket and wants to put a little more air on this and just can't get it to Begelton.
2nd and 10. There were 4 of 16 on 2nd down in that loss in Week 6. Carry out to the left here, Mitchell. Bombers are going to bring some pressure. Bo dumps it off, but it is bubbled and falls incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down on this initial drive of the football game for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, their top receiver, Malik Henry, just looked like that one just bounced right off his chest. This was a good call because Adam Big Hill had gone on a blitz from the linebacking core, so had a call to get it out of Bo Levi Mitchell's hands quickly.
Rolling on the field is incomplete pass.
Henry talking to himself on the way to the bench there.
I would have liked to have kept this drive going if you're Calgary. Started well, first 4.5 minutes of this game. Paredes will come out. He is 16 of 17 on the year, 94.1%, 2nd best all-time percentage as well at 87.5 behind Lewis Ford. And this one is down, this one is up, and this one is through. Calgary first on the board today here at home with a 3-0 lead. Zach Collaros will get the ball for the first time today when we return to McMahon in Calgary. Just 7 completions last week for Zach Collaros. Didn't matter. They still ended up winning another football game. He's put together a nice season.
Right, absolutely. And 11-5 in the touchdown interception ratio. The numbers that matter the most are that win-loss record at 7-0. And yeah, not very often a quarterback completes 7 passes, but the team finds a way to win.
Well, put together a huge drive in the 4th quarter against Edmonton to seal away that victory. He's going to be in trouble here. Gets it away. Almost intercepted at the 45 as Calgary Stampeders defense. Here's what they're working with today.
Well, Jonathan Moxey just jumps this one. I mean, looked like Zach just tried to muscle this in, and look at the jump from Moxey on the outside. Went over and told number 8, give me one more chance. That's what he said. Give me one more chance. I dropped that one.
2nd and 10 for Collaros. Over the middle of that one through the hands of an intended target. And boy, Cam Judge was right there as well in the vicinity.
Yeah, guy that I've highlighted in the starting lineups as well, which we'll get to very shortly, but Cam Judge leading the Calgary Stampeders in defensive plays, which is saying something when he plays beside Jameer Thurman.
Intended target there was Dembski back in after suffering that injury in Week 3. Big for the Bombers to get him back. Leggio kicks this away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That'll be taken just inside the 25. And staying on his feet is Logan. And what a return here. Takes it outside the 45 when it looked like he might not have anything. Peyton Logan working a little bit of magic in the early going. This guy is certainly capable of it as well. Kadeem Carey and the Stamps offense when we return.
Number 35, Kadeem Carey.
Very cool moment here on Family Day at McMahon.
Well, young 9-year-old Kason Carey, the son of Kadeem Carey, he's got a future in public announcing.
And his dad's got a future Hunter with the ball right here, and he takes it down inside the 45. Perfect timing for a big push of 23 yards from Kadeem Carey.
And young Kaysen introduced the entire starting offense and then got to 35 and said, "My dad, Kadeem Carey," and they have their own special handshake. And how cool was that? And his dad saying, "Watch this, son. Get outside and around the edge." 112 yards rushing against Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago. Or 110, I believe it was.
He's fourth in the league in rushing yards coming into the game here this afternoon. This time they'll give it to Logan, and there's a flag on the play as Logan pushes ahead. They really do have a good 1-2 punch here at running back with Kadeem Carey and Peyton Logan.
It looked like Kadeem may have just got winded.
Holding. Calgary number 51. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
It's the center, Sean McEwen, the guilty party there, so they'll back this up and go 1st and 20. Offensive line has done a good job so far this year. Bo Levi Mitchell, just 7 sacks so far is what he's taken in the 5 games. Obviously, they get that ground attack going with Carey, who's over to his quarterback's right. Mitchell now has a completion down inside the 35 as he gets it right back into the hands of Malik Henry.
Good timing on this post route throw. Mitchell, couple of steps and hits Malik Henry in stride. Malik Henry has he leads the league in yards per catch. I mean, that 20 yards per catch average. Best in the CFL.
They needed 20, they got 19. Stevens into the game, and he'll lunge over the pile, and that'll be enough for a first down. Henry closing in towards 500 yards receiving on the season as well. Might get there today.
Yeah, you know, I mean, 88 yards a game, which is second to Jalen Ackland in the Canadian Football League. So Malik Henry has really stepped up and become Mitchell's go-to guy. Then you throw in a Reggie Bagleton and a Kamar Jordan. It's not going to have another repeat night like he did a couple of nights ago. That's a pretty good core. Well, better than pretty good.
Very good, very good. 3 receivers to the right here for Bo. Hands it off. Carey made a couple of guys miss, and eventually Big Hill came crashing in there to help finish him off.
Yeah, what happened on the pull there? It looked like Ryan Sevior, the right guard for Calgary, got out, tried to get out in front of this. And I'm not sure if he stumbled or he got pushed down, but he kind of got in Carey's way.
That'll put them in a 2nd and 10 situation from the Winnipeg 31. The breeze starts to pick up here at McMahon on a Saturday afternoon. 4 receivers to the right. Bo looks to the left. Now he moves up in the pocket, dumps it over the top. It misses Bagleton. Bagleton had snuck in behind Dietrich Nichols, but couldn't get to that ball from Bo.
Yeah, just a little bit off this offense on this drive. They looked real sharp in the first drive, but Calgary in this drive had a couple of issues. Watch Kadeem Carey here and Derek Dennis. They're just going to stumble, and Carey kind of slipped and got right in the legs of Dennis, and Bo Levi Mitchell saw that, so he gets out of there, almost completes it to Bagleton, but just a little bit off in the execution the last couple of plays.
Paredes made from 25 earlier in the game. This one from 38 straight away. And once again, he knocks that one home, and Calgary has a 6-0 lead here against the Bombers, but Bo Levi Mitchell not necessarily happy after this one, drops it into no man's land, and a little frustrated. Welcome back to Calgary, everyone. We're going to dial it back a couple of weeks and see what Collaros did against the Stamps in that win.
Just the 315 yards, couple of touchdowns. And, you know, when you play against Zach, especially this year, and you go back to that BC game, too, which I think was one of his best I've seen in the last few years for Collaros, you got to be in control when you rush the passer against Zach. He has escapability as good or better than any in the league.
Starts here on his 40, down 6, has a completion. That'll be enough for a first down, first of the game for the visitors. Let's take a look at this offense for Winnipeg.
Well, Michael Couture was out after game 2, so Chris Kolinkowski gets a chance at center, and they've been together for 5 straight games now. Nick Dembski back in the lineup, which is big for this offense, because he can do so many things well.
First completion of the day to Dalton Schoen. Now Collaros is going to look down the field for Schoen again, just out of his reach, and it falls incomplete. Here's a look at what Winnipeg's working against in this Calgary defense.
Yeah, up front, Sean Lemon leads the league, or leads the team, I should say, in sacks with 3 so far after 5 games. The veteran still getting it done. There's Cameron Judge. Told you I'd highlight him because of his defensive plays. He leads his team in that regard. And we've got the top 3 players in the league when it comes to knockdowns. At number 3 is Brad Muhammad in the secondary for Calgary. Diedrich Nichols too, and guess who's number 1? Big Willie Jefferson.
2nd and 10 for Collaros. Takes it underneath Oliveira. Just short. Gonna give him 9 on the play. They'll be about a yard shy, right at the Calgary 50.
So here's our first decision of the night for one of these 2 coaches. Collaros just really using Oliveira as a weapon there, not a check down. He still had time in that pocket, but saw that he had little space around him. Not much of a hesitation there from Coach O'Shea. He's going to go ahead and go for it.
Dakota Prukop back in the lineup. And we'll push ahead, looking for the Calgary 49. Prukop, he played the first game of the year, has been out since. Slides back in and takes over his role as short yardage QB.
Didn't even go to measurement here. It was only about half a yard to get there. See, well beyond that 50-yard mark, and gets pulled back, but you get forward progress and first down. No real question there for Coach O'Shea.
When you got 3 all-stars on the offensive line, it's probably a pretty easy decision, isn't it? 1st and 10 for Collaros here. Hands it off to Oliveira. Trying to bully his way ahead. Gets a couple of yards before a flag flies right at the end of the play.
Yeah, I wonder, that was a late flag coming in there, and Oliveira's helmet off. I wonder if there was a face mask of some kind at the bottom of that pile.
Major foul, face mask. Calgary number 91. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Devin Berglund. The guilty party here. And tough to do that against this Winnipeg offense.
See, Sean Lemon had turned the play inside. That's his job. Cameron Judge was there, and you can see that left hand around the face mask. That was sharp by the officials to catch that. Often that gets missed at the bottom of a pile like that.
Now down to the Calgary 31. Oliveira again, straight up the middle. That's his longest run of the year. And he'll take it all the way down to the 15, a 16-yard pickup.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Brady Oliveira is just kind of tired of people saying that the Bombers don't have a running game and that they haven't been able to get the running game going. I mean, his average per carry coming into this one is just 3.4 yards. So pro-competitive athlete wants to end that narrative.
Collaros, he's going to take a shot towards the end zone, drops it in there, and Dembski can't hang on. Would have been a nice return to the lineup for number 10.
You can't throw it any better. You cannot throw the ball any better than Zach Collaros did right here. He does it, first of all, it's on time, and both these quarterbacks, as good as they are a little bit off on target, but not that throw. Look at how he drops it over the shoulder where Wall can't get there. You cannot throw that ball any better.
Maybe Dembski just a little rusty.
Yeah, got to get the rust on,
right?
Got to get the rust
Benefit of the doubt there. 2nd and 10 now on the Calgary 15. Collaros surely to be throwing again. Steps up the pocket near side. And that one down to the 6 as he goes to Rasheed Bailey for the first time today.
You know, when we watched Zach Collaros a couple weeks ago against Calgary, or any team he's playing, I talk about the pass rush. If you take an inside move or you go too wide and around the edge, get your shoulder pads going kind of across the field in that angle, you're going to be in trouble. Zach Collaros can escape like Houdini. He is the best quarterback in the league and just sort of bailing out and extending plays. Prukop comes in for short yardage one more time.
Got it done earlier on this drive. This is now the 9th play as Winnipeg marches towards that Stampeders end zone. Got to get a yard here. Prukop takes the right side of the line and has more than enough to keep the offense on the field.
Right behind U of S, Patty Neufeld. Big push by the right guard to give Prukop not only the half a yard he needed, but 3 or 4 to get it inside the 5-yard line. Look at 53 over the top. Big push on Jameer Thurman. Bounced him back. By the time Thurman got there, 3-yard gain.
Marcus Hardrick right next to him, pushing ahead as well. That was a no-doubter, wasn't it?
Former great U of S Husky right there.
First and goal from the 3. Collaros, far side, got it! Touchdown, Dembski! This time he hauls it in, and welcome back to the lineup for Nick Dembski.
Yeah, he wasn't dropping this one, was he? I guarantee you went back to that huddle and said to Zach, hey, don't worry about that one. I'll get you again. Just give me one more opportunity. Zach goes right back to him after the corner route. And no question this time.
First touchdown of the year for Dembski after missing all that time with an injury. And in that game he got injured. He was really starting to get going.
Yeah, against Hamilton.
Remember that game?
Over 90 yards, yeah.
Leggio out for the extra points and the lead. And he knocks it through. So after the Stampeders had to settle for a couple of field goals, Winnipeg, not the case. They punch in a major as Dembski gets back in the lineup. And Dembski right here gets back into the end zone. The visitors with a 7-6 lead late in the quarter. Welcome back to McMahon and Nick Dembski. What a way to get back into the lineup. Let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky for more.
Well, Dustin, when I spoke to Nick Dembski yesterday, he told me he was hoping to be a big spark coming back into this lineup, having been injured back in week 3 for it. He said whether that's a big play, block, run, it didn't matter. Well, I think the touchdown certainly will be what he was looking for. Zach Collaros also told us about how much they have missed Dembski. We heard Glenn talk about the versatility that Dembski has out there on the field for them. And one of the things that Zach said is that a lot of the things that he does on the field, people might not even be able to recognize at home or be able to see on the TV. Obviously, the yards after catch is always a big thing with him, and the leadership out there. It hasn't been the same without him, but a big return for Nick Dembski here today.
4 touchdowns last season. He's got his first one this season here tonight. And now on the return once again, a nice push all the way back up the field there from Peyton Logan. Let's take another look at this Dembski strike.
Yeah, and his quarterback, Zach Collaros, had to sort of tell him, like, Dembski's over here, and he's going to talk to him. He says, remember, you go over motion that way, and if you, this is where you get the bunch to the right side of the formation, and both Calgary's corner and halfback take the inside receiver and leave Dembski that leverage to the outside.
By the time Moxie realized it, it was too late.
Yep. But I like how there was little instruction there from Zach. Coming over in motion here, remember that.
Final play of the quarter. Mitchell, he's going to look down the field. And that one hauled in at the 35. No, bounces just out. Jalen Philpott almost put himself on a highlight reel. Holy smokes, I thought he had it. What an effort from the 5th overall pick in this past year's draft. Lays out, got his hands on it. The ground took it away. Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Stampeders trailing 7-6. Bombers managed to knock one in there. Dembski touchdown. Calgary had to settle for a couple of field goals.
Yeah, Dembski making an immediate impact in his return. That's, you know, and he's going to be an important part of this offense as the game goes on. But I get the feeling for both these teams a little bit like two heavyweights kind of walking around the ring a little bit, looking at each other and just kind of rope-a-doping it a little bit.
Make sure you pay attention or else you're going to get popped, right?
Yeah, as they get set up here to put on a show. But, yeah, you know, I think we're going to see some fireworks. And as far as that Jalen Philpott goes, right at the end of that play, man, we're going to see some athletic plays from the Philpott brothers as this goes on. And their journey continues because what an athletic attempt. So close to a big catch.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10 on the Calgary 41 for Bo Levi Mitchell. Empty backfield here as his running back to Kadeem Carey. Turns around, gets it, stays on his feet. He's got a first down and more. Carey spinning his way down inside the 50. Boy, Kadeem Carey has come to play today.
Well, he got introduced by his kid, so he's excited to get out there and be the player of the game. Again, back-to-back 100-yard games, so he wants to keep that streak going. This is going to be a throw and catch after the, or the run after the catch, and not run yards. But he made Nick Taylor miss in open field.
Big Hill and Hansen eventually tracking him down. He's got 51 yards combined through the ground and the air so far in this game. Mitchell throwing this time. Gets it to Kamar Jordan, wrapped up immediately for a short gain on first down. Nick Taylor was there this time. He made sure he didn't get away.
Well, you know, anytime you play against the Bombers, the 7-0 Bombers, I think offensively you're trying to think of how you can get the ball out of your quarterback's hands quickly. So you sort of take Willie Jefferson in that front four out of the picture a little bit because they can't get up the field and start to create the havoc that Jefferson usually creates. And we've seen a little bit of that from the quick game here from Calgary.
7 yards is what they need here on 2nd down. Looking for Jordan, Nichols in coverage, and he's able to knock it away before 88 could haul it in for a first down. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 7.
And that just tied his teammate in knockdowns for the league lead. That will be number 7 for Dedrick Nichols on this knockdown, and he did a nice job of keeping his right hand away from the receiver. He didn't want to get his right hand involved with that because it would put it in the hands of the official as to whether or not it was interference. It wasn't. It was great defense and another knockdown. That's 7 on the season for Nichols.
He had 7 all of last year and was an all-star, so he's off to an excellent start here. A 53-yard field goal attempt. This is a deep one from Paredes. It would be a career long. It's right down the middle. Got it. For a guy who's kicked so many field goals in his career, to knock home one from 53, huge in this ball game.
Yeah, just money his entire career, and coming into this game, he was well over 90%. 16 of 17 coming in. And no doubt, nails it. Great hold, laces away, and no question about it.
He knew it right away, didn't he?
Cody Grace, Dave Dickinson, there it is. Reaction by the head coach.
53-yard field goal gets people fired up, man.
Yeah, it does.
You're never that excited about settling for a field goal, but when you punch one in from 53 to take the lead here against the Bombers, that'll get you going. They toss it out to Oliveira. He's got some room on the far side of the field, and he'll lunge out of bounds as he closes in towards the 50.
Now, Brady Oliveira, I think, has played hard all season. I see a different, almost sense of urgency from him tonight. There seems to be a spark there of some kind. See that little extra push, too, on the tackle on the sideline. Just kind of get out of my way.
That was Raheem Wilson, who was kind of tied up and got the heads up from Oliveira. It's going to be a little bit of a man on a mission here tonight. Get this Bombers run game going. They're going to go back to him again. What a cut by Brady Oliveira here to stay on his feet. Down to the 40, inside the 35, and eventually they'll track him down.
It's there. I mean, it is there. You can just tell when a guy's just got that juice going, and Brady Oliveira does. At the beginning of this game, the first couple of runs, his longest run a couple of times now, this being his longest on the season. Nice move in the open field, little stiff arm at the end. There you go. Get in that zone. 30-yard gain for Brady Oliveira.
58 yards on 4 carries for Brady Oliveira. Now they're down to the Calgary 31. Collaros, a quick fake. Now he's just going to keep it, lunge ahead. Looked like he changed his mind a couple of times, but eventually just decided to tuck it down and pick up 9 yards.
Yeah, it really is a challenge to try and contain Zach Collaros, because I mentioned the defensive front four, and there they are. Can't be too over-aggressive and run by him. But you also can't just be standing there giving him more time to throw. You got to get up the field and provide some pressure. It's really catch-22.
Rukov getting involved a lot, coming back into the game. 3rd time that he's been called into duty. Was that initial push ahead enough? Yes, it was. That's a first down for Winnipeg, and Collaros will head back out onto the field.
Well, we've had a few of these short yardage plays, and so far offense has won every time either side of the ball.
Brought in here this year to handle that specific role. Brown did a pretty good job when Rukov was out, stepping in for Collaros. Zach now back in there, working from the Calgary 20, trailing 9-7. Excellent first half of football here at McMahon. Collaros, far side, throws it back, and Grant goes back to get it. And he is able to hang on. Janarian Grant with his 3rd catch of the season. This one for 4 yards on the far side.
Yeah, Janarian Grant got a little bit lazy, I'm going to say, at the top of his route, because he runs like this, and then he was supposed to break out again. Watch how he hesitates on the first part of the route, right at the top of it. He sort of hesitates there, and then Zach says, no, I got to throw you closer to the sideline, and he puts the Jets on there for 2 steps. Go, oh yeah, I got to get out here. Yeah, got it.
Well, we know he's got quick feet.
Does he ever?
2nd and 6. Collaros. Dembski hangs on. Touchdown. Give him 2. Nick Dembski finds the end zone again. And the Bombers go back on top. A 16-yard strike.
Example of his versatility. On the first touchdown, Nick Dembski comes out of the backfield. Almost like a tailback, almost like a Brady Oliveira. This time he lines up at the slot. He's in the slot and he runs a post right down the middle. Gets inside leverage. I mean, can put him anywhere. Can run the ball the backfield as a tailback. Can play him at wide receiver. Can play him at either slot back.
Yeah, I kind of laughed when you said it, but you're not exaggerating. You can play him everywhere on the field. It's such a weapon to have back here for the Bombers. Leggio comes in and sneaks that one home. And the Bombers on top by 5. Glenn mentioned heavyweight tilt here. Both teams delivering blows in the first half. A couple of them from that man, Nick Dembski.
Nick Dembski's going to end up in one-on-one against Raheem Wilson, the free safety on this play, and watch the route running at the slot back position for Dembski. Watch this hard fake. Boom, inside to the right and then back outside. You see how Raheem Wilson jumps it, and then inside to the post. Here's a second look at it from Wilson's perspective. He jumps hard on that outside fake and into that inside right at the post. 2nd touchdown of the night for Nick Dembski.
2-touchdown day for Dembski. Leggio kicks this away. Logan takes it just inside his own 25. First up the far sideline, and you just get the sense he might break one here today. Gets that one all the way back out to the 45. So good field position again for Calgary.
Yeah,
Something's got to give here.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty impressive win-loss records for both these guys. I mean, Zach as a Bomber and the starting quarterback for that team and his 2 championships, and then Bo Levi Mitchell also been in a few championships and won as well, but also you look at his record off a bye. You see some fireworks tonight from both those guys.
We'll give it to Carey. And once again, a significant push on first down.
The difference, though, is there's been pretty good field position for Calgary, especially in those first two drives, starting around their own 45-yard line, and they finished with field goals. And the last drive also finished with that long Paredes field goal. Meanwhile, Winnipeg's got 2 touchdowns, 2 majors back-to-back. So, you know, that's where Calgary's got to step it up, just one little step and say, hey, we've got to finish these drives with majors, especially against defending champs.
Well, it fits the script for this Bombers defense. First in the league in points allowed, but 6th in the league in yards allowed. And that one looked like it was deflected by Jefferson, but Henry was able to weasel his way underneath it.
Willie Jefferson just went over and told Henry, I usually get those. Sometimes I even catch them. He's right off the edge where he is in that 2-point stance, and watch him get his hands up there. Now, I still think quarterbacks they look at Willie Jefferson right in their throwing lane and think there's no way he can get it if I put it this high. And he gets his paws on it.
1st and 10, Winnipeg 51 for Mitchell. 6 of 11 for 70 yards. Back to Kadeem Carey. Jefferson hanging on, trying to yank him down, and a flag late on the play as Willie Jefferson does a little bit of everything. There's no doubt about that one.
Just disrupts. I mean,
Major foul, horse collar tackle. Winnipeg number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, you don't see those very often from Jefferson.
Couple of years in a row, outstanding defensive player in the league. 4-time PA All-Star, 4-time CFL All-Star. You can see the hand on the back of the jersey, and that was the horse collar tackle, but just disrupts. And even if you block him up at the line, he can still get in the throwing lane and all those knockdowns.
22-yard swing after the penalty. Carey stumbled backwards, stuck behind his offensive lineman, and had nowhere to go for a loss on first down.
Yeah, Casey Sales he just pushed. I mean, he just recreated the line of scrimmage. You're going to see this action in here, and watch him just cut it off. They get upfield so high, and number 90 is going to be to the right of your screen, just creating a pile there, and Carey just gets pushed back from the pile.
Well, now you get stuck in a 2nd and long situation here. You don't want to have to settle for another field goal. 2nd and 16 for Mitchell. Big Hill's going to be coming after him. A free-run flag on the far side of the field. They'll get it into the hands of Logan. He's a playmaker, takes it down inside the 20.
Looked like Willie Jefferson jumped, but may have been the offensive line that moved first, so we'll see if this comes back. If not, it was a free play for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Offside, Calgary number 84. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Reggie Begelton, after Logan got them the 16 yards they needed.
Yeah, this is a biggie. I mean, this is Begelton trying to basically wants to get that. Well, you can see he's not just a little offside. That was 4 yards offside.
So back them up to the 40, and Calgary shooting themselves in the foot here, trailing 14-9 at home to the 7-0 Bombers. 2nd and 21 for Mitchell. 3 receivers to his wide side left. Run a draw here to Logan, straight up the middle. A good burst, but it closed quickly, and the Bombers are able to contain him.
Yeah, you know, I think on that last 2nd down, probably Dave Dickinson, the play caller and head coach, thinking, you know, this play out to the flat, we can get Logan out in space and probably get it, and he did. The penalty takes it back. Now you're thinking we can't get out of this without the field goal for sure. Run the draw. If you can't break all the tackles and get there, no problem. We put Rennie Paredes out on the field.
Paredes 3 of 3, 25, 38, and a career-long 53. This one from 38 again, right down the middle, and that kick is good. So an excellent day if you've got Paredes as your kicker in fantasy. Huge start. He's 4 for 4. But the Stamps keep settling for field goals, and they find themselves trailing 14-12.
That's pretty much the next month.
Red Blacks have been close so many times.
I know. On the doorstep, got to finish. Can the Stamps defense control number 10 here?
Couple of touchdowns for Dembski. Only 2 catches of the game have gone for Majors. Oliveira's having himself a pretty good start as well, and another big-time pickup. 7 yards is what they'll give him. And for a guy who was averaging 3.4 yards per carry, looks like a completely different player.
Well, you know, when I first just look at overall offense, and the balance in it is what stands out more than anything for the Bombers. You got Oliveira playing at a different level. I think he's really worked hard every game, but there's a sense of urgency with him. It's like he's playing a little bit angry tonight, and that's made a difference with that balance. And Buck Pierce calling that with play action, and then Dembski getting involved with his versatility, and they're looking like the Bombers of old offensively.
Just 8 yards on 9 carries in that Week 6 win for Oliveira. This time he's going to be stopped short as the Stampeders defense comes up big.
Ramalade, I think he was leading that group, but he steps up. Look, Jameer Thurman's in there, and so is Cameron Judge, the 2 linebackers. Watch them scrape to this, and they say, okay, we've seen enough. You know, you gotta, at some point, you gotta take away those gaps.
And that will get Winnipeg's offense off the field. No Rukop here on 3rd and 2. Leggio will kick it away to Peyton Logan. Logan steps back, takes it at his own 8. Makes one-man miss. Second one will track him down. Nowhere to go on that play. Cromdy with the tackle. And Calgary will start deep in their own territory, down by a pair. Well, after having just 1 catch in that last game against Winnipeg, Kamar Jordan looking to bounce back. For more on that, let's send it down to Sarah Orleski.
Well, Dustin, those numbers, just 1 catch on the 7 targets last game, stood out so much because that's so uncharacteristic of Kamar Jordan to have a game like what he did the last time these 2 teams played each other. I asked Bo Levi Mitchell about that. He said that he told Kamar during this bye week, just go back to the lab. Don't let this impact you. 10 out of 10 times he chooses to go to Kamar in that situation. It doesn't change his faith in him at all. And Kamar Jordan, speaking to the local media this week, said, we can't wait for everyone else to make plays. It's on us. It's on the pass game. He felt they were ready to go.
And on cue, right back to Kamar Jordan here for a 3rd time today.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't agree more with Sarah that this is an all-pro. This is a top-end receiver. This is a guy that finished 6th in the entire league last year in the Canadian Football League and 14-game schedule. He is a money receiver. Everybody can relate to a bad day at the office.
He's 33 years old, right? He's not 23 years old just breaking into the league.
Kamar Jordan just had a bad day at the office. He'll be back.
Out into the flat for Carey. Tries to cut it back up. And he was wrapped up and taken down. Clements started it, and they contain Kadeem Carey here as we work our way under 3 minutes at McMahon Stadium with the home side trailing the Bombers. They always come up with great segments, don't they? Flying by the seat of their pants. First punt of the day for Grace. Calgary had 4 field goals on their first 4 drives. Kicks this away. Grant will take it at his own 41, a 49-yard kick. And he is wrapped up before he can even get it back to the 45-yard line. Darius Williams down the field, nowhere to go.
Yeah, really good work there from Williams on the special teams. To, you know, the Bombers are known for their special team coverage teams, and they have a great returner in Janarian Grant, but Williams right there to meet him before he gets started and swap the field position.
Zach Collaros, 6 of 10 for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. Most of the damage has been on the ground. Brady Oliveira, 66 yards on 6 carries. Strips to the right here for Collaros. And they'll tuck it into the belly of Grant on the far side of the field, and he's got speed to burn down inside the 50. So he didn't get a chance on the return, but they get those wheels going right away after.
Yeah, go right to him on the fly. Sweep, get Nick Dembski out in front. This is another thing that Nick Dembski does well, and the panel said they're going to talk about Dembski. How about this, too? Dembski leads us around. Here comes number 10, trying to cut off any pursuit angles and give his teammate, Janarian Grant, the corner. Nice 20-yard gain for number 80.
Shane Bailey blocking up along the sideline there as well. And a nice start to this drive for the visitors, looking for more. 14 already on the board. 2 minutes to play in the opening half. And this play will not have a chance to get going.
Same procedure against Winnipeg.
Procedure, Winnipeg 66. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Bombers the best team in the league with the fewest penalties. Just barely over 50 yards per game. And there's teams in the league that are well over 100 yards per game.
When you don't take penalties,
Win the turnover
and
battle.
you don't turn the ball over, it's a recipe for success.
How about 7-0? If you just do those two things, you got a chance to be 7-0.
3 receivers to the right for Collaros. Flips to the right. Throws in that general direction. A couple of bounces and it falls incomplete.
Well, that was pinballing off everything. I mean, that ricocheted a couple of times. Schoen going down, trying to get inside leverage, which he does. Who fell underneath that?
Was that Thurman?
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, it was Jameer Thurman. Just getting enough depth to get his hand on that, tip it. Then it bounced around a little bit. I guess it looks like Cameron Judge had the best shot at it for an interception. But Calgary Stampeders had some illness coming out of the bye and some question marks. Jameer Thurman was one of them. But pretty much the starters were cleared a couple of days ago, just before the tilt was ready to kick off.
2nd and 15 now for Collaros. At the Calgary 49. Near side, Wolotarski wide open. Cuts it back up the field, takes it down inside the 35. And Wolotarski did exactly what he had to pick up the first down.
Well, it's an interesting sort of defensive alignment because just 3 down linemen. In fact, you can only see one. That's Mike Rose. The other 2 are just to the outside of the screen. But Collaros forced to throw it underneath, and he just has to rely on his receiver to get it.
Now Collaros rolls to his left. He's got a completion for a first down inside the 20 to Rashid Bailey. 2nd catch of the game for Bailey.
Boy, they finished drives. They're knocking on the door one more time, and it's been Calgary settling for field goals. Can the Bombers keep their touchdown streak alive here? Where's number 10 lining up?
Collaros 8 of 13, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of them to Dembski. He's in the slot to the right. Collaros out to his right. And he put that one up there into the hands of Wolotarski.
They're going to say that's a catch right on the sideline. He can
tippy-toe.
Little play action, and because Brady Oliveira's played so well in this first half, that play action really pulls the linebackers. But look at that toe drag to make the catch, secure it. Left toe, you only need one. That's great concentration.
Spectacular catch. 2 of them on this drive for Wolotarski.
That's the one you practice on the curb as a kid.
Collaros looking for the end zone again. Pressured, gets it away. Completed down inside the 5. And held on to by Bailey. I don't know how Zach got that one out of his hands.
Yeah, this is the challenge that the Stamps have right now defensively, is trying to get after him, but not too fast so where you're going to miss him, and somehow He just gets rid of it. He's a rabbit of a hat there just before he gets pulled down, but he's done it a bunch this year. I've been saying this, I don't want to compare them, but I've been saying it's Flutie-like what he's doing from the pocket.
Second and goal from the 4 now. Oliveira stands in to his quarterback's right. Collaros now quickly has it batted away. He was looking for Grant. Played extremely well by Raheem Wilson, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Clearly, Zach Collaros wants a challenge flag from his coach, I think. I mean, it looks like to me that's what he's trying to signal, that did he see something from the Calgary defense? Good knockdown there from Raheem Wilson.
Looked like Wilson played that okay. He came right around the front.
I mean, I didn't see his right hand and where it was, and maybe Collaros saw a different angle, but he clearly signaled to Coach O'Shea that
Zach is still on it, wants to see that flag tossed. Now he can. Leggio knocks home 3, and they'll have a 17-12 lead, which you do have to be happy with if you're Winnipeg, with 37 seconds left here in the first half on the road.
Yeah, this is quite interesting though, because usually a coach is going to automatically sort of throw the challenge and trust the player. I mean, and it's not that he doesn't trust Zach Collaros, don't get me wrong. I just mean oftentimes without even asking the spotters up front, that's the right hand that turned him, and that's what Zach saw, and that could have been enough to get the PI call. He saw it immediately, looked to his coach, said, throw the challenge. I'm telling you, I saw him turn him. You know, and I mean, it's close, but from what we saw in that second angle, coach might have been wise to use the challenge there, put it down on the 1 yard line.
It almost looked like at one point O'Shea gestured up top, maybe saying the guys said no.
Yeah, and they said no.
Here's Mitchell now with a little bit of time left, a ton of time here in the pocket. That's some heavy football as he's got a completion to his running back, and that was Big Hill who was a part of that collision. Surprise, surprise.
Kadeem Carey's been a little bit slow to get up after some of these hits. I saw it in the last series as well, and he was on the sideline on the stationary bike. Well, the Calgary defense was out there. Keep our eye on him.
Another short pickup back to Jordan, and that'll bring up 3rd and looks like a couple here. 3rd and 1. 4th catch of the game, team leading 4th catch for Kamar Jordan.
Bring in Tommy Stevens for short yardage.
Boy, the Winnipeg defense. Make a play here. Stevens up. Under center, pushes ahead, got more than enough, stays on his feet, almost got all the way up to midfield with 7 seconds on the clock.
Timeout, Calgary.
And Dave Dickinson's looking at, you know, if they can do it in time, a 15-yard out here, stop the clock at around Winnipeg's 45-yard line. You got a chance for another field goal attempt before the half.
And of course, Kate and the panel at halftime. Lots of Nick Dembski chatter as Winnipeg gets another weapon back. Of course, no Greg Ellingson, who came into the week 3rd in the league in receiving yards. Schoen's done an excellent job stepping in. At Agadusi, a couple of touchdowns last time these two teams played. He's on the 6th game now, and they get Dembski back, so it's all worked out in the end.
But Greg Ellingson out. And you got
1st and 10 now here for Bo. He's going to look down the far side of the field, and that one bounces off the shoulder of Hakunavanu and falls incomplete with 1 second on the clock.
Well, like we saw Zach Collaros throwing it to Nick Dembski, Hakunavanu, it looked like to me, I'm not sure if a Winnipeg defender got his hand on it here, but again, this is a throw that you just can't get back. No, they didn't. You know, Nick Taylor didn't get his hand out there. That hit him in the mask. Hakunavanu just not adjusting that route on the fly enough to make that catch, but you can't throw it any better than that.
1 second on the clock. Mitchell moves out to his left. Now he's going to heave one deep towards the end zone. Up for grabs. eventually fall incomplete just inside the 10. So one heave towards the end zone comes up empty. Calgary Stampeders at home, trailing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are looking to go to 8-0 on the season. They're up 17-12. Let's send it to Kate in the panel.
Mathematic Beagle, what do you see? First half stats.
I love it. How about Winnipeg actually getting back to running the ball? The man has been Brady Oliveira. His most rushing total yards this year was 62 yards. He already has 66 in his first half. How will he continue in this second half?
Here is our Sarah Lesky standing by with Nick Dembski.
Nick, well, you told me going into this game that you hope to be a spark for this offense. 2 touchdowns for yourself in that first half, but everything seemed to be clicking for a lot of that offense. Why were you guys able to get the momentum that you were?
Yeah, we're just playing Blue Bomber football. You know, we're not doing anything too crazy. We're just going out there and making the plays. We're still leaving some plays out there, so there's room to improve. Still got to stay on the field, but it's looking pretty good so far.
Usually when you come back from an injury, you have the opportunity to practice. You didn't this week, so what was it for you to be able to get into a rhythm early?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I still feel like I got to get my feet under me, but at the end of the day, you know, I was still working out, so I can't have any excuses. So, you know, the second half, I just hope to improve and just make more plays for my team.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Dembski and the Bombers currently up 17-12. Back to McMahon Stadium for second half action right after this.
Well, there's a storm looming just outside of McMahon Stadium, and we've got a great game brewing inside the stadium right now. Kadeem Carey's with our Sarah Orleski.
Kadeem, a lot of field goals in that first half for this Stampeders offense. How do you turn them into majors?
Man, just go down there and execute in the red zone. Go out there. I know we'd be a little tired, but we got to go out there and punch it in there, execute what we need to do in that red zone, and this game will be ours.
We showed your son introducing the offense today. How excited was he, and how great was it for you?
Oh, man, he was excited. He was talking about it all week, went out there. He shut it down, gave us the energy we needed today, and shoot, I'm ready to go off of him.
Thanks for the time.
No,
Hey, and you know what? When she asked him about his son, you see him there. He had the same smile.
Yeah.
He had the same smile that his boy did when he saw him. Great-looking family watching on here. It's Kadeem Carey, 61 yards in that first half. You need another 60 probably here in the second half.
Yeah, he nailed it. I mean, he nailed it. You just have to execute when they're in plus territory and turn some of those field goals into majors, and they'll be just fine.
Winnipeg, with the lead, has chosen the win in the fourth quarter. They could have taken the ball here. Instead, they're going to kick it away to Calgary. And the breeze is starting to pick up as the storm starts to work its way in over the hills here. We'll keep tabs on that. And this will be kicked away. Taken at the 20. Staying on his feet. It's Philpott on the return. He'll get it up just shy of the 35. Here's Kadeem Carey's night so far.
Well, in case you missed it, here's 9-year-old Kaysen. After the intro of My Dad, number 35, Kadeem Carey introduced the entire offense, and Carey went to work, had some nice runs. He got involved in the passing game as well. It looked like he was a little banged up at the end of the half, but he seems to be fine after talking to Sarah down the sideline. There was no issue there. Back in that starting lineup to start the second half and keep that balance in the offense.
Back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, 300 yards rushing over his last 3, 38 yards rushing in the first half tonight. They'll give it to him again, and he is wrapped up immediately by Rutledge.
Yeah, Donald Rutledge, that's called a run blitz, basically, and Richie Hall, the defensive coordinator, has done such a nice job, no matter how many changes he's had to go through. No Jackson Jeffcoat tonight, no Malcolm Thompson at safety or Brandon Alexander, but Coach Hall still coaching them up, and they coach the entire team on defense and offense, not just the starters. It's one thing that the players continue to talk about, that when it's your time up, you're ready and prepared.
2nd and 9 for Mitchell. Distance is short to the 40 and no further. Mitchell 10 of 17 for just 85 yards in the first half.
Yeah, they're running quick game. They've taken a couple of shots. We see Kamar Jordan, and look at how Nick Taylor read his mail there, got inside, didn't matter because Jordan kept coming back to the football. Key for young receivers watching. Don't run that curl and sit there. Nick Taylor jumps it if you do.
Grant, a few steps to his left, takes it just inside his own 20 and is wrapped up. Nowhere to go. Williams down the field again. Nick Dembski out with his offense, back with the offense and back in a big way.
A couple of touchdowns in that first half. This one he came out of the backfield, almost lined up like he was a tailback, and this one he goes back to the slapbacks position, one that he's more familiar with, but he can play them all. And that was number 2, going one-on-one on Raheem Wilson.
First game in his career with 2 touchdowns. And there are only 2 catches he had in that first half. Right behind Wolotarski. Now Dembski's going to swing around. That'll open things up for Oliveira right up the middle, and just keep plowing ahead.
Yeah, look at him go. I mean, Matty talked about it at halftime too, but I think Buck Pierce has the play caller for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers basically saying, hey, this guy is running with purpose. He's running with urgency. I would even say he's running with a little chip on his shoulder tonight. And they're going to keep using him and reestablish him in this second half. I mean, this has been, to me, by far, Brady Oliveira's best game.
Statistically, that'll back it up. He's got more rushing yards tonight than he has in any other game so far this season. He's going to get a few more here. Made one man miss, stayed on his feet, picked up a couple of hard yards there on first down.
So right now the defensive line for Calgary has 2 issues they got to deal with now, because 20 is running so hard. You've got to always keep your eye on that run first. So when Zach Collaros does this, he can also pull it, right? And he didn't in this play, but you got to keep your eye as a defensive line and linebacking core on 20. That caused you to hesitate for a split second. Then Zach goes play action, and you can't power rush him, or else he'll escape. That gives him another second to throw the ball.
Now he's in second and 7. Backpedaling, dumps it off. It's Dembski. Calgary, though, is going to get their defense off the field. Wrapped up Dembski before he could do any damage on his 3rd catch of the game.
He had the ankle injury. Again, now he's in there at a tailback spot, basically where Brady Oliveira will line up, and then he's going to run basically a tailback screen. Didn't get the big boys out front in time, though.
Roberson with the tackle. Logan takes this at his own 32, a 41-yard kick. Now Logan, stumbling ahead, takes it out just inside his own 45. So decent field position here for Bo Levi Mitchell, trying to get this Calgary offense at home jump-started on a Saturday night right here on TSN. Calgary just 12 points on 4 field goals, and here's a big reason why.
Yeah, just, a couple of miscues at the wrong time. I mean, Bo Levi Mitchell just missed Bagleton right there. He's got a couple of deep shots. This one to Phil Pott, almost made a spectacular catch. Akunavanu had a chance at a deep one, and, that's the difference between a field goal attempt or a touchdown. And look at this one.
This time they hand it off to Kadeem Carey. Stays on his feet down inside the 40, and he would not be denied.
Cason's going to love that run. I mean, he just, I love the top end of it. Up front, the first part of the run here is because of the blocking out front. He's got Sean McHugh, the center, who pulls around and just sets the tone. But watch the end of the route. Battle, battle, battle. 4, 5, 6 more yards.
He's got 70 yards on just 8 carries so far in this football game. Got his team down to the Winnipeg 36. Mitchell. Pressure coming, feels it, rolls out to his right, dumps it off for Bagleton. Bagleton's going to turn it back at the field, down all the way, rolling inside the 15. Almost had a little ramp as he came back down to field level.
Looked like they had 2 options here. A little inside route from Kadeem Carey or this Bagleton crosser all the way to outside the numbers, and watch the balance. Still not down by contact till that the elbow touch. That was a 5-yard roll.
23-yard pickup. Mitchell now sits at 113 yards on 12 of 19, and Calgary is in business. Knocking on the door here against the Bombers defense. They'll give it to Carey. Carey wrapped up and taken down as he gets inside the 10. That was Rutledge flying over there again. He gets all over the place trying to contain Kadeem Carey, and league leader in yards per carry so far this year.
Yeah, that was coming into week 8. He was the league leader in yards per carry. Andrew Harris moving up to league leader in yards per game, but is getting some more touches than other backs, but still looking great at 35 years old. James Butler, we saw last night, had a big game in the Lions win against Saskatchewan.
Kadeem Carey averaging 8.3 yards per carry tonight. Mitchell quickly has a completion, but a nice tackle by Rutledge again. And he stops Philpott pushing that one towards the end zone.
It's about the 2-yard line here, so
first down.
To get the first down, a new set. And from the 2, from the 1, it's quarterback sneak time. From the 2, you can run your offense.
And that is what they are going to do. Remember, they were inside the 5 twice in that game against Winnipeg, had to settle for just a field goal. Kadeem Carey, he's not going to be denied. All the way to the house. Kadeem Carey's great day continues as he takes home his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, he told Sarah Orleski, there's Kaysen, yeah, your dad just scored a major. Told Sarah Orleski, this is the plan. We get in the green zone, we get in the red zone, we got to execute. And he executes that final 2, but he was a big part of that entire drive. Now they're turning them into majors.
Needed that one, no doubt about it. They will go out and look for a 3-point lead. Mitchell with 3 receivers to his right. Logan a flare out to his left. Mitchell looks underneath. Bengals in. Was he in? No, it's going to fall incomplete. So the lead will remain to sit at 1. Calgary on top at home. Kadeem Carey with a special delivery on Family Day. That one and this one right up the middle, touchdown, and Calgary finally finishes a drive.
Kadeem Carey got this drive started, 5 plays, 67 yards on the drive. Nice Bagleton throw, catch, and roll for 7 or 8. Down to the goal line when Philpott gets him inside the 5 to the 2-yard line, and Kadeem Carey, game ball to the family. Well, I shouldn't say game ball, TD ball. The game's not over.
Yeah, long way to go on this one. Grant at the 20. Back out to about the 28-yard line for the Bombers.
Say, cheerleaders, I want to go with you. Say later. I want to go with you.
There's some coaching going on down there, too.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think the coaching is give the ball to daddy more.
Let's see what kind of answer Zach Collaros has in this Winnipeg offense. Getting their turn to answer. So important that very next drive when you get the ball after a touchdown scored on you. At least get a few first downs together.
A couple of touchdowns and a field goal so far in this game. Pressure coming. Collaros feels it, gets it away. Stays up in the air and eventually is scooped up by Rasheed Bailey, who kind of deflected it to himself and then hauled it in after that. One of the better plays of the year from 88.
Yeah, and Bailey sticks with it because pressure on Zach Collaros here is going to force a quick throw, one that isn't as accurate as we're used to seeing from number 8. He gets a blitzer right in his face, throws it high, and Bailey just sticks with it. He sees it. He's at that number 2 spot, trips to the field, and watch him hang on, tip it up to himself, stick with it, keep your concentration, and pick up a couple extra yards.
49 yards and 4 catches for Bailey. He's got all 4 targets thrown his way. Collaros throwing again. And that one right back in to the arms of Rasheed Bailey on first down.
The last 8 games that Calgary and Winnipeg have played each other have been decided in the last 3 minutes.
I don't want to jinx it, but we're on pace again.
We're on pace for 9 straight between these two teams. In the last 6 years, the only team to beat Winnipeg at least once throughout the regular season has been Calgary.
2nd and 4 now. Prokop into the game, and that's the quarterback keeper. He's going to take off. Got by Raheem Wilson before he was eventually wrapped up just shy of the 40, and this is something that Prokop can certainly bring to your offense.
Well, and the fake to Brady Oliveira is what sets it up. Oliveira's going to fake it here. Prokop goes around the corner. This is another case where defensively the Stampeders need to realize which quarterback's in the game. I'm not sure if they did on that far side of the defense because they gave up containment. Prokop gets outside of it.
5.5 to play in the 3rd. Bombers looking to answer back. Calgary will bring some pressure. Collaros gets away to Dembski, and he's got some room. Dembski down inside the 30, creeping towards the 25. Wrapped up and taken down by Judge after a pickup of 15 yards.
Well, we've seen this matchup a few times tonight. Raheem Wilson drops down from the safety spot, and he's going to take Dembski in man-to-man. And this time, number 11 tries to play the ball, but Dembski snags it down.
Now a deep shot towards the end zone, up for grabs, and he hauls it in. Dalton Schoen again goes up and gets it, his 5th of the season. 26 yards, and Winnipeg climbs back on top.
So important after you're scored on, you gotta come back offensively and take back the momentum. So important, and that's what championships teams do. They come back after being scored on. It happens, and they put together their own drive that ends in points and take the momentum right back. Another great throw from Zach Collaros.
Legio for the extra points and a 6-point lead. It was a quick response from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A 5-play, 81-yard drive that ends right there in the midst of Dalton Schoen. Tie for the league lead with his 5th receiving touchdown of the year. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, it goes one-on-one with Titus Wall here. Wall is on the inside shade, and that's where he wants to be, but Schoen knows he's got a corner route. Now, Wall makes a crucial mistake here. Stop it there. He cuts underneath to try and play the football. That's the 2nd play in a row that the linebacking core or secondary for the Calgary Stampeders have tried to play the ball, not the man first. Make the interception, but miss it, and it's a completion.
Should have stayed on his back there.
Exactly. He had good position.
There goes Logan, another pretty decent return, and once again, Calgary will have decent field position.
He bailed,
to start
be locked in the outside.
This
Yeah,
drive after a 22-yard return.
Honestly, he bailed like this to the field, or it was like butt to the field. So I took it back. I went backside. Yeah. Just communicate. I have my eyes on them. Just be decisive, whatever. Yeah.
By what I just heard there, it sounds like that was kind of a reroute, and they said, look, Titus Wall just turned and ran with me, so I went back to the corner route, and I heard Zach Collaros there say, well, whatever you're going to do on that, it's probably either a post or a corner, just be decisive, make your decision quickly.
Mitchell throwing here, far side, and he's got a completion to Henry as Calgary looks to punch back here in the 3rd quarter.
Good timing here. Again, bounce back. Now, these two quarterbacks who we said off the top just know nothing but winning. Go ahead and run it, guys. Timing route. And Bo Levi Mitchell barely doesn't even have to play fake it there because the timing is so good. And Winston Rose given a little room to Malik Henry.
Mitchell, 14 of 22 for 138. Collaros, 172 yards and 3 touchdowns. They'll give it to Carey right up the middle. Kadeem Carey staying on his feet. He's got a 1st down for Calgary. Another impressive carry on the play for Kadeem.
Yeah, and this is what I mean about the bounce back after you get scored on. After you get scored on, you don't necessarily need to put a major on the board offensively in the next drive, but you do want to get some points back. Pull a little bit of momentum back, and already Calgary in field goal range.
Kadeem Carey, 11 of them for 86 yards, looking to make it 3 100-yard games in a row, is 35 and red. He stands into the right of his quarterback, Levi Mitchell. 3 receivers to the left for 19. He takes a couple of steps back. Now he's going to be throwing, and he's got a completion again, and that'll go for a first down back into the waiting arms of Henry for a 4th time today.
Malik Henry plays this smart. This was one that was going to hit him low and inside, real accurate throw, but sometimes a receiver will try to scoop that and turn and run with it. He realized that was a little bit more of a higher degree of difficulty, so just secure the catch, get what he just signaled to you, that first down, and let's get a new set.
That's what they've got, and it starts at the Winnipeg 25. Carey this time wrapped up immediately, nowhere to go on the play. Cedric Wilcox gets home and pushes him back.
Yeah, he played the play, he read the play, and see what Logan is a little slow to get up. He comes right off this edge, and the block was supposed to be there by William Longley, and he just didn't get to it. He beat the block.
Jeff Coate opening up an opportunity for Cedric Wilcox. Logan getting looked at. Of course, he's in the return game. Philpott can handle that as well. Kadeem Carey back into the game to the right of Mitchell. 4 receivers to the left of Mitchell. Fakes to Carey. Now he's going to step up. He's got a man that's complete to Bagleton. He's rolling again. And he'll take it all the way down inside the 10.
Bagleton is introducing a new move. He's got a new move. The roll.
The Bagleton roll.
The bagel roll.
There you go. A couple times we see this.
Yeah, a couple times. This time I think he tried to turn the corner and just sort of slipped and went down on his own. Yeah, he tried to turn, slips and goes down. Now he's not touched, so he's going to continue to try and roll forward. Gets touched after a couple extra.
3rd trip to the red zone for Calgary, 1 for 2 thus far. They work from the Winnipeg 8. Mitchell quickly throws, tight window. Nichols is there saying no. Bagleton looked like he got under it. And they're going to mark him down inside the 5. Is this Kadeem Carey territory again?
Well, it was last time they were there.
They're not going to waste any time. Kadeem Carey gets it, and he takes it home again. Give him 2 on the day. Kadeem Carey. And Calgary locks this thing up at 24.
Well, there's 3 kids in the stands. One has the ball. Now another's going to get a ball.
There's a lot of pressure knowing as a dad, you got to get a 3rd ball.
That's the pressure on Kadeem Carey right now, is to get a 3rd, because that is pressure.
He's going to have to cut one of the balls in half at the end of the game if he doesn't get another one.
Or get another one. Yeah. Get another one. Lots of time.
Bombers Stamps living up to the hype so far. Paredes looking for a Calgary lead on the extra point. And of course, he knocks that home. And Calgary goes on top 25-24 with just 28 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Kadeem Carey, no doubt about it, for a 2nd time today. Seven plays, 64-yard drive finished off by Kadeem Carey. He's got 88 yards on 12 carries, 2 touchdowns.
Now it's going to be a good one. But
He's right. He's right. It's going to be a good one. And it has been so far. Grant at the 10. Janarian Grant all the way back up to about the 29. And that is where he is contained for now. Another look. And Kadeem Carey working his way.
Yeah, we on, baby. It's game
the
on.
End zone.
It's game on, and this is living up to the billing without question. Some great execution on both sides of the ball, well, all 3 sides, and the Carey family loves what's going on with Kadeem with touchdown number 2.
I even know it's just too easy to take that.
Okay, Zach, you're up.
Starting on his own 29. Oliveira takes it, finds a little bit of room, and then is taken down quickly. Some pushing and shoving there right at the end of the play. As the Winnipeg offensive line causing some issues there for Jameer Thurman. That will bring us to the end of the third quarter. You would be foolish to turn off your television right now. We've got a great finish coming up and a heavyweight tilt between the Bombers and the Stamps at McMahon in Calgary. Back to Calgary, everyone, and there was a lot of hype heading into this game, especially after the way that last matchup finished. And boy, it's lived up to the expectations, hasn't it?
Yeah, nice balance in the offense. We're on pace for, what, around 70 points in this game. We're on pace for both teams to get up to around 400 yards net offense. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at all to see these two defenses in this fourth quarter maybe step up and make a play of their own.
I'm just having fun. I just like being here. This is an excellent atmosphere tonight here in Calgary as the Stampeders look to do something that nobody else has done this season, and that is to defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Zach Collaros and the Bombers, 7-0 on the season.
And one of the reasons for that is in the fourth quarter, after 7 games, they're averaging 4 points against. They shut the door in the fourth quarter. The first and the fourth are the Bombers' best quarters. Let's see if Calgary's got an answer.
We've been saying that throughout their entire championship run over the last couple of years. Calgary's going to bring some pressure, and that is held on to. What a play by Schoen, and he turns it upfield. Come on, takes it all the way outside. The Winnipeg 50, another big play from the first-year Bomber.
Leave him all right by himself out there, one-on-one. Get a push from Brady Oliveira to the flat. Just winning the contested throws right now. Both teams.
18 yards for Schoen, takes Collaros to 190 on the game. Now he's going to look for a big chunk more, and Schoen again, but this one falls incomplete down at the 15.
Now you'll see, this is look at Sean Lemon there talking to Zach Collaros and saying, okay, we got you in second and long now. That's Zach's reaction to it, which is
a little smirk and a smile.
Yeah, basically right where we want you. Two veterans going at it. It's been a quiet game for Sean Lemon so far. He's got a tackle on the board, but hasn't registered a sack. I don't believe the Stamps have one in this game. Collaros getting rid of the ball on time.
No sack in the game at all on either side of the ball.
Winnipeg, timeout, Winnipeg, timeout, Winnipeg.
And that's the execution factor offensively. Both these quarterbacks putting on a show and showing you exactly what's possible when you're executing at a high level. Calgary goes down in that third quarter, finishes with a Kadeem Carey touchdown. What does Zach Collaros do? Drives the field, hits Dalton Schoen on a corner route for a touchdown to answer. What does Calgary do? Takes it right back the other way for another Kadeem Carey touchdown.
The crowd here at McMahon doing their best IG Field impression. Trying to get in the head here of Zach Collaros. 2nd and 10. Dumps it off to Oliveira, who cuts it back inside, gets to midfield. And if he stopped about 2 or 3 yards shy of that first down marker, he almost got it.
And it was Lemon who got involved with the tackle, along with Cameron Judge. Lemon's on the pass route, or excuse me, the pass rush to get up the field, and then he sees that Oliveira has it, and look at him hustle on the backside to get there with Cameron Judge, make the tackle.
Leggio stands on his own 45, set to boot this thing away, lets it go. That one over the head of Logan and through the end zone. And we are tied at 25. Don't go anywhere. 13 minutes of drama coming up right here with the CFL on TSN as Bo Levi Mitchell gets the ball back in a tie game. .50 sacks, 50 knockdowns in the career of number 5 from Warren Willie Jefferson. Let's send it down to Sarah Orleski.
Well, you look at the career that Willie Jefferson has had, Dustin, you think about how many times we've spoken about him over the years. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about him, so I asked defensive coordinator Richie Hall about it and said, help me out here a little bit. And one of the things that he pointed out that he really loves about Willie is just how coachable he is. He said that when you see someone that has the experience and the resume that he has, that's not always the case, but he's always looking to get better, also incredibly accountable. He has no qualms about raising his hand in meetings and when they're watching film to say, that's on me, that was my mistake. A difference maker on the field, a mentor to young players on this defense off it.
This is kind of Willie time right here, right? These are the moments of the game that he's made play after play after play for the last 4 years. Well, Levi Mitchell knows all about it. He'll keep tabs on number 5 in white. They'll give it to Kadeem Carey. And Carey trying to work hard to get back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he got there, but no further. Here's Coach O'Shea on Willie Jefferson.
Well, I enjoy Willie. He's a tremendous leader. You know, he does all that stuff on the football field, and then, you know, when he's around his teammates, he's on point, right? He knows what it's going to take week in and week out, and I think that's what makes him really special.
Big second down here. They go to Carey. He's just short of what they needed.
Now, having said that, Willie has 1 tackle tonight, and the execution offensively has been at such a high level for both of these teams. It's just right now they're going one-on-one basically. They're not doing too much chipping. Kadeem Carey's got some run yards. Willie Jefferson's been involved. That might be his 2nd tackle of the night, but he's not disrupting so far like we've seen him in the past in almost every game he's played in.
3rd and inches. Tommy Stevens into the game. Just need a little push forward here to keep this offense on the field. And he does have enough. Anything on that other side of the 50 was good. First down for Calgary.
You know, Derek Dennis and Julian Goodjones are 2 veterans, and you know, they're going to take great pride in trying to contain. I don't think you can stop Willie Jefferson, but you're trying to contain him. And the other guy is you got to try and get pads on is Big Hill, Adam Big Hill. You get to Willie, try to contain him, and then get an offensive lineman on the leader at middle linebacker and Adam Big Hill, and you got a chance.
Fresh set of downs at their own 50. Hand it off again, and that'll go ahead to midfield. It's Philpott getting involved in the ground attack.
Nice little move right at the line of scrimmage for Jalen Philpott. Getting the start tonight at wide receiver, and he's going to line up in the tailback and then get the spot and then just take it off that left side. And I love that little cut in to the middle.
Got an injured Stampeder down on the logo, getting looked at right now. Didn't pick it up on that last look that we had. We'll take a quick break and return here at McMahon in Calgary. The heels of last week's race, Formula One action continues tomorrow as drivers take to the track for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Tune in at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 a.m. Pacific on TSN. George Russell on the pole tomorrow. My alarm is set. You're going to get up and watch some F1 with me or what?
I'll set the PBR.
Okay, yeah, you can do that too.
Great crowd here tonight at McMahon, pushing 30,000 from what I heard, and family day, lots of young kids in the house, and we're watching a great show.
They are loving every minute of this one. Mitchell, 2nd and 5. Pressure coming from Jefferson. Steps up, and now he's got some room to run, and Bo takes off. Slide down inside the 45. And he doesn't do it often, but he did it there.
Well, they've had to juggle. They put Bryce Bell in at center. That was the injured player with Sean McEwen, and then Bell comes in at center, shotgun for Bo Levi Mitchell. The Winnipeg defense just sends 4 on it, but Willie Jefferson gets around the corner. He's picked up. Bo Levi steps up, climbs in the pocket, and then takes off for a first down. Willie Jefferson, you said it's about that time of the game where he starts to turn it up a notch. Nice swim move around Goodjones there.
Seaver stepped in and stopped him just in time. 11 yards for Mitchell. Now out on the near side, he'll get it into the hands of Begelton, who makes two-man miss, taken down at the 30. As Reggie Begelton dancing a little bit here in the fourth quarter for 14 yards.
Yeah, part of it is play calling tonight as to why Jefferson's been contained for most part, doesn't have a sack tonight. This is play calling. Get the ball out quickly, get it to Begelton. You need one block outside. They get that block. I believe it was Kamar Jordan with a nice block at the point of attack, and Begelton picks up a first.
Nichols just completely missed him. That was the second man he beat. And then it was Nick Hallett getting his first career start tonight. That ended up taking him down. 1st and 10 on the Winnipeg 30. Carey again. Jefferson's there. Take him down, but another Bomber is able to wrap him up after a pickup of about 4 yards on 1st down.
Well, the way these offenses are executing, got to be thinking major.
Carey comes to the sideline. Peyton Logan back into the game. A little bit of a limp there with Carey. He's at 92 yards, looking for 100 in 3 straight. 2nd and 6 on the Winnipeg 26. 3 receivers wide right for Mitchell. Big Hill's going to bring some pressure. Far side, and that one falls incomplete. Begelton tried to make a play on it, but he couldn't haul it in.
Well, you got to take the points. I'm not suggesting that you go for it here. It was just a timing out, and you know because Mitchell was so deep in the pocket there, that ball was thrown pretty well. I think Begelton may have hesitated just as he broke to that ball and not just sprinted to the sideline.
Just made a difference. Paredes now out into the wind from just inside the 35. And he knocks that one home. And Calgary creeps on top. 28-25. 7:43 remaining here in a very entertaining football game in Calgary. Episode bringing you exclusive access to the latest CFL highlights. Catch it Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN.
Nice catch by Nick Dembski right on the sideline in front of the Calgary bench to get this drive started for Zach Collaros. And one of the other guys that has been quiet tonight is Mike Rose in the middle of that Calgary defense.
So Dembski on that play. 2nd and 3 from the Winnipeg 47. 5 catches for Dembski. Collaros needs 3 more yards here. Prukop into the gate rather. And now Prukop's going to look to the near side. He lunges ahead, and that is enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, it's a good call because it freezes you with Janarian Grant going across the formation. Prukop, just such a great runner from the quarterback position. One guy's going one way, that freezes the defense. It means that they got poor angles to get there, and all you need is a couple for the 1st.
Trey Roberson is down on the field, getting tended to by a couple members of the Calgary staff. Moving his right arm as they get a look at him. And certainly feel the impact of Prukop into this game tonight, Glenn. You mixed him in a couple of times, and obviously he's taking care of business in short yardage situations.
Well, we'll see what Buck Pierce does with it as the season evolves, because as you know, there's the rule change where you can play 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time now. Some teams are slowly starting to implement. Hamilton's done it. Edmonton's done it. Now the question is, you know, Prukop is that kind of guy, because you could play him in the slot if you wanted to. He could become another receiver or tailback almost, and you could double pass it to a 2nd quarterback.
The threat that he's able to move the ball with certainly could play into Winnipeg's plans moving forward.
Take a look at the Trey Roberson injury here. He's He was trying to block or beat the block inside. It didn't look like it was, certainly wasn't an illegal block or hit.
He's up, and he's a little tender as he walks off under his own strength. Big piece of this Calgary defense. 6:45 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. And Winnipeg looking to find a way to remain perfect on the season. The Stampeders coming oh so close just a couple of weeks ago. Hoping for a different finish this time around. First and 10 for Collaros. The pressure right up the middle. Gets it away over the middle. And that one falls incomplete off the hand of Schoen.
So with Roberson out of the game right now, Deontay Ruffin moves to the corner, and then they moved Raheem Wilson to Ruffin's halfback spot, and that time Cameron Judge played safety. That's exactly where Zach Collaros tried to go with the football. Now they rotated to that safety spot. But Ruffin's at the short side corner. Wilson at halfback. And Buka, Eli Buka at safety.
And they work against the 2nd and 10. Collaros trying to stay on his feet near side. He's got a completion. Wolotarski. And boy, has Wolotarski come up with a couple of huge catches today. That one's just his third, but 2 of them were in situations just like this.
Yeah, and you know, the small things, the fundamental things that great quarterbacks do, and we're watching 2 great quarterbacks go to work tonight. Zach Collaros is going to look, when he gets free here, he's going to look down the field away from that throw and just kind of throw it blindly, knowing Wolotarski's over there.
18 yards to Wolotarski. Now they work on the Calgary 40. Oliveira, big chunk right up the middle, and that's going to be enough for another first down, it sure looks like.
Well, they're in range to tie this game. You feeling like a little overtime?
I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not suggesting that they can't finish this drive with a major, but in real comfortable field goal range now, especially with the wind at their back.
They work on the Calgary 30. Collaros marching with less than 5 minutes to play in the quarter. Pitches it out to Oliveira again. He's got some room. And will take it down inside the 25 before he's eventually forced out of bounds by Raheem Wilson.
And a great block outside. I believe it was Janarian Grant that's going to get Mike Rose. Mike Rose has got contain on this play. And Janarian Grant makes a key block. It was earlier than this, and that gave Oliveira the corner.
99 yards rushing for Oliveira in this game. Closing in on his first 100-yard game of the season. This time an empty backfield for Collaros. Just over 4 minutes to play. He's going to look for end zone touchdown, and he's got it. It's shown again. His second of the game. This one huge as Winnipeg climbs back on top.
Slipping him inside. I'm gonna keep this one. Hey, great job, man. Hey.
Remember the conversation that Dalton Schoen and Zach Collaros had after the last touchdown throw? Well, this time, same sort of route, but instead of going to the post, he stems it in there and then goes straight down the seam, so they continue to communicate, continue to connect. Another touchdown for Schoen.
Zach Collaros, 4 touchdown passes on the day, 2 to Dembski, 2 to Schoen. Schoen's got 6 now on the year. Leggio out to make it a 4-point football game. And that is exactly what he will do. So in a game in which we've gone back and forth all night long, it's the Bombers back on top right now, 32-28.
Good job.
Lines up in the in the trips formation. He's that second receiver in between Dembski and just a straight go route. Remember the last time he pulled it into the post a little bit more, but this time instead of bringing it to the safety, who in this case is Eli Buka, he goes straight down the seam. And again, Zach has been on the money all night long. Look at the throw in stride over the shoulder, and Buka just can't get there. We're talking 6 inches away from his hand.
Coach, I'm sorry I couldn't make your bachelor party, but this was for you, man. Hey, Mom, he needs a haircut. Nah. Hey, Mom, he needs a haircut.
He needs a haircut.
I hope he watches that. I'm good. You got it fucking locked in right now.
Bachelor party sounded like a good time too, but he's got 2 touchdowns and his team on top in this game. 80 yards on 4 catches. Now here goes Philpott. Good burst all the way back out to the 34. The stage is set with 3:42 left for this guy, Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, and I'm going to just take a look and see if looks like it'll be Bryce Bell coming back in at safety, or excuse me, at center for Calgary in this offense.
Yeah, McEwen's still down on the table just below us.
And that's a big one, because that you better be ready as the backup in Bryce Bell, because you've got to make the calls, pick up the stunts and blitzes up front, and he's doing that right now as he breaks the huddle.
Collaros has 4 touchdowns. Mitchell doesn't have one yet. 196 yards through the air. Going to be throwing here, and he's going to look down the field, and that one will fall incomplete. Looking for Henry, but it was defended well on the far side.
Yeah, I think it was DeMario Houston that was in stride for stride with Henry down that sideline. And remember that play in the end zone where the mistake was made by the DB to cut underneath and go for the ball? Well, this time Houston doesn't do that. He just keeps running, stays composed at the end of it, doesn't try to cut underneath, and is in good position making sure that Malik Henry can't get to it.
So now a huge 2nd and 10. They're 10 for 20 in 2nd down so far tonight. This one from their own 34. Mitchell over the middle, and that is batted away. That's Hallett in his first career start. Got there just as the ball was coming in to Reggie Begelton. That'll take us inside 3 minutes at McMahon in Calgary. It's the Bombers looking to remain perfect. 32-28, they lead. In this football game.
That was great timing by Nick Hallett to come up on the safety spot and a nice hit on Reggie Begelton. Get that Winnipeg defense off the field and give Zach Collaros another chance with the football to put this one away.
Nice kick here for Grace. Grant takes it at the 24-yard line after a 52-yard kick. Canarian Grant on his feet all the way back outside the 40. And great field position again here for the Bombers as they look to seal this thing away. And the first-year Bomber, Dalton Schoen, seems like to say this every week, but he's doing it again.
Well, I would suggest, and I guess I'm not going too far out on a limb here to suggest that Dalton Schoen is the runaway front runner for Rookie of the Year in the Canadian Football League right now. I know we're early, closing in on the Labor Day turn, but having a heck of a rookie season.
Hand it off and push ahead for the Bombers.
Yeah, now you're trying to grind the clock, so that's where Brady Oliveira, now the Calgary defense knows that too, so.
His first 100-yard game of the season, now officially in the books.
No Trey Roberson, he has not returned to that corner spot. So Eli Buka will stay at safety, roughing out at the corner.
2nd and 6. Would be a big stop here for the Stampeders defense. Can they find a way to deny Collaros? Empty backfield, 6 wide, goes over the middle. He's got a completion to Dembski inside the 50. Made some big plays early, and that right there is a big catch late.
Yeah, this is just smart, taking advantage of when you have an injury, the opposing defense in the secondary go and test where the backup has come in to play, and that's where Buka is dropped back out in the middle, and that's where Zach Collaros wants to go and attack, right with Dembski right over the middle. Now, the only way you can stop that in a couple ways, Buka can cut up tighter, or you can drop your linebackers real deep, but that opens up run lanes.
1st and 10 on the Calgary 49. Back to Oliveira, and he stopped after a pickup of just a couple with 1:44 on the clock.
So it's right now for the Calgary defense.
And there's been teams along the way who've had this shot against the Bombers, right? You make a play, you get the ball back, and you get a chance to do it. Calgary did it. They had a chance to do it. Kamar Jordan back in week 6 couldn't haul in a touchdown that pretty much would have tied that football game.
Well, with Roberson out, does Calgary play man defense here, or do they drop into zones?
3 to the right, 3 to the left for Collaros. Calgary's going to bring some pressure. Collaros has a completion. Calgary defense trying to stop him. I think that's going to be close. It's going to be real close as he went back to Dembski over the middle.
Decided to go to zone defense here, Calgary. Dembski over the middle, fights to get close enough, and in fact, they're moving the chains.
Huge first down from Dembski. That second effort.
Right. Has he made an impact? Back in the lineup for the first time after 4 weeks off with an ankle.
Team leading 7 catches on 9 targets for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. Calgary 39 is where the Bombers sit with a minute on the clock. Back to Oliveira. A wall of Stampeders will stop him, but not before he picks up a couple of yards.
Timeout,
first down
Calgary.
again.
Timeout.
Dave Dickinson has to burn his timeout here. He has to use it here for sure, or else on the running play, they'll stop it or start the clock as soon as they spot the football. He can stop it with that timeout. He needs his defense to step up here. Field goal keeps it that same, what they need.
Still got it,
yeah. Need a major anyway.
Down 4 right now. Field goal and make it 7. Bombers are 11 of 18 on second down conversions so far tonight. None bigger than this upcoming play. Oliveira in behind Collaros. 3 receivers out to his right. They'll give it to Oliveira. They'll try to push ahead behind that line. And he will be stopped short of the 30. And that will bring up 3rd down with 48 seconds on the clock.
Field goal team comes out there.
There is Leggio coming out, looking to make it a 7-point game.
Means that at the very worst, they go to overtime if there's some Hail Mary that is answered.
He will have a strong wind at his back, as chosen by the Bombers, to start the second half of play. 40 yards on the nose straight away, Leggio. And he's good. And the Bombers go up by 7 with just 27 seconds remaining in this ball game.
They find a way. You think back to their last game where Collaros completes 7 passes and they find a way to win.
Yeah.
A different way to win. Tonight, Zach Collaros has completed 22 passes
for 4 touchdowns.
For 4 touchdowns. So there's a different way. Now the offensive execution is taking its turn and contributing to improving their perfect record and going to 8-0. And the target is, you know, obviously you're going out to win every game. The last best start for 1960 was 10 in a row. That's in franchise history. Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 1960 went 10 in a row, and back then it was Bud Grant, Leo Lewis and Kenny Plain running things.
A little bit different. Dial it back a bit. Here's that wind that we were talking about a little bit earlier on. Picked up as we worked our way through the ball game. Gusting now, probably the most that it has all night. And that'll be behind Legio as he gets set to kick this away with just 27 seconds on the clock. Drives it in the direction of Philpott. Philpott on the far side of the field, but there's a flag at the 30 as Philpott takes it all the way out to the 50. And there was a flag thrown on the near side of the field that's going to likely take this thing back. And we'll have to get a look at it because I didn't see anything jump off the page to me.
Illegal block. Calgary number 89. 10-yard penalty. Be first down.
Hunt check.
I didn't either, but where that flag was thrown was an awful long way away from where the return happened.
It was all the way across the field. And now this is back the ball up a significant amount, and it's going to be placed at the 15-yard line. So instead of maybe a quick play and then a couple of shots, Calgary's in deep, literally. First and 10. 17 seconds to go. Need a miracle now. Mitchell underneath, and that'll be complete to Hakunavanu with 11 seconds on the clock. Bombers on the verge of remaining perfect. Coming out here to McMahon and delivering another blow to the Stampeders. Mitchell finds Jordan. He's taken down just inside the 40, and the clock ticks down to 0, and that's going to do it. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers a perfect 8-0 on the season. 2 of those wins coming against Calgary. Another close ball game against the Stamps, and the Bombers find a way.
Well, this time the offensive execution for Zach Collaros. The return of Nick Dembski adds up to 35 points, adds up to 8-0. Great teams find a way. The Winnipeg